Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation. Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I'm your host, Justin D. Morgan. Happy New Year. T-Rex says roar. And let's see here who we have in the chat, because we're going to get right down to things. Let's see here. We have Thomas Armstrong. More eBay. Is this a double down? Hi, Thomas. We'll see shortly. All right. We have Stian. Hi, Stian. We have Mike's Future Retro. Weather's been iffy for building a workbench, but hopefully I'll get started on that soon. But hi, Mike. We have SadMac356. Hi, SadMac. We have Jack68K. Hi, Jack. Says lol, great title. Starting late, got it, then I won't miss so much of the stream. Haha. All right. Yeah, I realized I had stuff to carry downstairs and did not want to wreck my back doing so, so I decided to delay a little bit and carry it down more slowly. I didn't do anything stupid. We have Thomas Armstrong. I am in a noisy ice rink tonight, but will watch. To which I replied, you don't know how loud T-Rexes can be when they eat. Especially when they get popcorn kernels stuck between their teeth, because they can't floss. We have Jesse. Hi, I80386SX. Including now, he's I80386SX on eBay. So matching channel and eBay store names. Congratulations on the store rename. Yes, we have Hardware Hacker. Hi, Hardware Hacker. And we got SJ Brian EXE. So hi, SJ. And we got Socket Wrench. Hi, Socket Wrench. And we got Sadmax says, just finished washing up, took nail polish off, and lingering acetone is not a good flavoring for any subsequent snacks. Ugh. Nope. I would agree. Not a good flavoring. We will include the acetone candle along with the Reefa candle and the other burning electronics candles as rejected Yankee Candle Company scents. Yeah, I bet so. Stay safe up there in Minneapolis. All right. Let's see here. All right. So we got a new coffee goal. New year, new coffee goal. I am going to VCF East this year. At least that's my goal. I will not be exhibiting unless someone wanted to sponsor my entire exhibit, but they would have to probably do it sooner rather than later, and it might be too late. Because I am only going to be able to take enough time off to actually go as a participant, but that means I'll be able to visit everyone's table. So, but still, going to VCF East is kind of expensive, and I've already booked my hotel room. So, and then I gotta buy tickets. But anyways, yeah, so hopefully I will be there as an exhibitor, or not exhibitor, as a participant walking around. Of course, that means I still will be able to hand out stickers, because I'm going to make sure I have stickers with me, and possibly some buttons too. And I will be wearing my cap, of course, and that means I'll be able to browse consignment plenty. And hi, Eric Sedge, welcome. Jesse says, I think I'm going to East as a drifter. Hey, that's a good way to put it. I think I'll be a drifter. Yeah, there we go. I'll be a drifter. So if you're there, Jesse, we'll both be drifters. But yeah, a lot of variables are in play right now. We understand. Sadmax says, I don't hate the smell of it or of isopropyl alcohol. We've all got those weird smells we like, right? Yep, I'm with you there. All right, so let's see here. Hardware Hacker says, be right back, quitting and reopening YouTube. All right, well, we do have something to get to first before we get to the segment that you're probably thinking I was going to start with. We have Got Bomb. Did you miss the VIC-20 yet? Nope. You have not missed the VIC-20 because we are first going to things I have picked up at the thrift shop. And I see that the receipt is down in the bottom of the bag, so I don't think there's any personal information on it, but let me remove it just in case. Also, this is not everything I bought, because this actually isn't from a thrift shop, so things I bought from the game shop, that would be more accurate. The AV cable has already been removed because I needed to use it to take a photo for Retrotech or Die, and then he realized that, oh yeah, I needed a photo of a fat PS2, and my fat PS2 is in like a bazillion pieces right now. But anyways, at least I can plug my PS1s and PS2s in my CRT TV now. But while I was there, I did pick up a few items from the bargain bin, and let's see what I picked up from the bargain bin. Thrift VIC-20, Jack says. DVDs, Trident cards. All right, I dug through the bargain bin. Trident Blu-rays. I had to reject some of the DVDs that were in the bargain bin because I either already had them or they were missing the discs. But I picked up Need for Speed. Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed for 99 cents. Stian says, I have that game and I have never once played it. I think I might already have it, but it was 99 cents. Because I have a weird interest in baseball games, I picked up Super Bases Loaded for the SNES. It was 99 cents. Stian asks, want another copy for 99 cents? It's tempting. Gutbomb says Porsche Unleashed is pretty good. Yep, so I guess if I did already have it, hey, it's a good game. Gutbomb says it's the best one. All right. Gutbomb's asking, do I have Ken Griffey Jr. for SNES yet? No, I don't. But I do have... Hi, Retro Tech Chris, welcome! We're going through the things I bought at the game shop from the bargain bin. We have Tommy Lasordo, or am I reading that right? I have no idea if I'm reading that right. Well, we have a baseball game that was owned by someone I believe named I can't read that either. Yeah, Tommy Lasorda. Thank you. I can't read his... There we go. Stephen T, yes. Yeah, I think that is Stephen T now that you say that. Or Stewart, yeah. Anyways, yeah, it was 99 cents. I mean, Chris says, ooh, autographed, laughing face, yeah. It was 99 cents. So... I had to pick up both the baseball games I dug out of the bargain bin. Yeah. Capcom says, I love that the baseball says Genesis on it. Yeah. Jack says, signatures. So there we go. And I picked up not one, but two PlayStation controllers. Thunderclap. So, I believe this one is a Sony. So, this is not a DualShock controller. And this one is a third-party controller. It kind of looks like it might be... Ooh, a high-performance one. But they were 99 cents. Cupbum says... That one on the right is the one you give to your little brother for two-player games. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, all this in unknown condition, although I'm pretty sure at least this works. They were 99 cents each. This was $4.95 total. I mean, the games probably work, but they're probably super common. Sadback says, the other is a, here, bro, here's your controller. Stian says, regrets measured in cents are surmountable. Yes. But I went to buy an AV cable for the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1, and I came out with these, as well as, unfortunately, I left it upstairs because I went December 26th, so unfortunately it was a bit long for me to wait. I also bought a mystery Game Boy Color cartridge that was $2.99. It was in the bargain handheld games bin. It was missing the sticker, and it turns out it's some BMX games, so neat. But I forgot to bring it downstairs, so oh well. But anyways, that's what I picked up at, if anyone's wondering, it was, there we go, Superbit, Charlottesville. They're at Seminole Square Shopping Center. So, not a sponsor. Oh, no, okay, it looks like I went the 31st, not the 26th. Still, it was last week. Yeah, so this was like my last purchase of last year, I believe. Gutbump says, I wish I'd known you needed a PlayStation AV cable. I have one I would have given you. Well, I didn't know I needed it either. I think you'd already mailed your package back to me, which I did get, but it had so much to bring downstairs it didn't make the cut. We'll get to it another day. Stian says, New Year's Eve, who wouldn't be game shopping? Well, I didn't know I needed the cable until after I told Retrotech or Die I would take a photo. Unfortunately, though, he didn't realize I had a PlayStation 2 Slim that was in working shape. So, anyways, hey, it made me set the thing up. I've got it connected to my CRT TV that has composite video only. So, Gutbomb says, you will need to make a segment opening my own stuff people returned to me for that box. Yeah, exactly. Which is maybe the other reason I didn't bring it downstairs. Socket Wrench says, I was rewatching Rogue One on New Year's Eve, felt appropriate. So, yeah, okay, so also, I did go to, the reason I didn't stream one last Thursday was I was headed up to Northern Virginia Friday, to go thrifting, and back me up, Retro Tech Chris, we found nothing. Well, I mean, we found things, but the one thing I did find, I was unsuccessful in negotiating a price on it, so I had to leave it behind. I was willing to pay $50, and they wanted $125 for it. It was only really worth about $50, and they would only come down to $90, so... Chris says, yeah, thrifting was a bust. So, anyways, I did bring a few things back with me, though, that were set aside for me, and Chris says, when I went to the restore the next day, there were 3 PCs. Yeah. The restores were closed the day we went thrifting, so... Gutbump says I went to bed early on New Year's Eve. So that might be the other reason that thrifting was a bust. So, anyways, I think with that, because some of the things I picked up, I will gradually show off as needed. But yeah, because I have a whole bag, quite literally, I put all the potential regrets in a garbage bag to carry them downstairs, except for this item here, which I had to unbox prematurely because it showed up on my porch as a leaning tower of computer. Okay, let's face it, it's a computer. I'll roll the video here in a moment, and then we'll see what computer it is. I'm not going to make you all Like, some YouTubers would make you wait till the end of the stream to see the big item, but I kind of figured you all knew that I had something that was decently heavy to carry downstairs. That's why I delayed. So I'm not going to make you wait to see what it is until the end of the stream. Cutbum says, I bet it's crummy. However, I might make you wait till the end of the stream to test it, because we got to go through the rest of the bag of stuff. The other reason I put it all in a trash bag is so that I had a trash bag to put all the packing material in when we're done. Tomorrow's trash day. But I had to unwrap this because it was wrapped like a burrito. I am not kidding. The seller literally took a box, cut one side of it. They must have laid it on the floor, and then they wrapped this thing like a burrito. There were like 3 layers of cardboard, no packing material. I am surprised that it didn't show up with a huge dent. Will it work? I don't know. Anyways, you all are probably curious what this is. It's obvious it's not a VIC-20, but before I reveal what it is, I am contractually obligated to play the following.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our favorite segment, Wheel of Regrets. Here's your host, Justin D. Morgan.
Hey, who comes up with these titles anyway?
All right, and we have Tom Barber in the chat. Hi, Tom Barber. Tom Barber thinks it's a Commodore 64. I did get the case top you picked out for me, Tom Barber, and have some bad news about the case badge that is on that Performance 6116 CD case. It's delaminating. So, unfortunately, that case label might be a poor transplant onto my existing case. But I did get it, so thank you again, Tom Barber, for digging through the bin to attempt to find me a case top I could transplant a case badge onto my Performa 6117. I'm going to blame Spindler for the case badge delaminating. Sadmax, yeah, we got some people guessing. Sadmax says, this feels like a regret. It might be. Anyways, Chris says, that's fair, lol. Yeah. There could be DVDs in here. Yeah, Chris says it did sit here for several months. Yeah, it's okay. There'll be another swap meet with more garbage bins to dig through. Who knows? I might show up to VCF East and I'll have 12 people hand me Performa 6115 CD case badges. Ah! Stian says, I'm guessing it contains a Trident X86 clone. Oh, Chris says there will be another swap meet in May. Yes, I am going to try to go to that one. Luckily, it's not the weekend. I'm probably going to be at the beach. Anyways, so this first item comes to us from an eBay seller in Washington State. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Washington State. This was listed. I waited a little bit because they wanted like $200 and some for it, plus shipping. We'll get to what I paid in shipping in a little while if I feel like sharing it, because shipping was a ripoff on this, especially because they wrapped it like a burrito. I forget who in the chat kind of flew by. Someone mentioned, unlike an actual burrito, this is something you want to have double wrapped with packing material. Yes. Anyways, they wanted like $200 and some for it, plus shipping. I let it sit for a couple weeks. I finally decided that I was going to make my best and final offer and see what they did. I was totally expecting it to get rejected outright. My offer was $90. That was my best and only offer. I felt any less would have probably been rejected outright, and any more would have been like way too much once I added shipping. Jesse says, where's my burrito? Yeah. We have, and you all are going to realize why the thumbnail is as it is. We have an Emerson computer. but not just any Emerson computer. We have an Emerson 8000 EC, just like the first computer I made a video on. Except this one's got a 3.5-inch floppy drive. No, it's not busted. It just has like zeros or like one screw holding it in. So why did I buy this? Because I didn't need just any Emerson. I didn't really need a second one. Stian says, the funny thing is that the 5.25-inch floppy drive is now the more valuable of the two. Yeah. Yeah, the 5.25-inch floppy drive might be worth what I paid for it, if it works. Although it may only be a 360K drive. Although it could be high density. I don't know. So why did I buy another one of these really not that remarkable computer? I mean, it is kind of nice that these do have Plantronics Color Plus mode capability. This one does have a VGA card, but I hate to disappoint you. I thought it was a Trident card when I bought it, but due to the shipping condition, I did take the case top off. It's actually a UMC video card. Hi, Sylvestron, welcome. But the reason why I bought this computer is because it's got a hard drive installed. I'm kind of hoping it's the hard drive installed. Although, there's only one screw holding it in. Or maybe two. No, maybe it is one. There's only one, I think there's two screws holding this floppy drive in. There's only one screw holding the 3.5-inch floppy drive in. There were no case screws at all. This is saying a UMC video card. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to pop it out. I didn't know they made video cards until I did the research, because I wanted to buy a UMC video card as a joke for that UMC motherboard that has the UMC processor. And then I realized that UMC actually did make video chips. And the Visa Local Bus ones are pretty rare and go for ridiculous amounts on eBay. But yeah, I don't know why there is an Oak Technology sticker on the RAM DAC, or what should be the RAM DAC. I don't know if that was someone's attempt to make this look more expensive. Because the thing is, this should be a RAM DAC, not a ROM chip. If someone has put a ROM chip in that position, then this is not going to work. Because right there's the VGA BIOS. But yeah, it is a UMC. This was like their first VGA compatible chipset. It supports 256K of RAM. It is, according to the datasheet, register compatible with the IBM, was it the 8513 or whatever? So basically it's IBM VGA register compatible. But yeah, there it is. I don't think Oak Technology actually made this card. I don't know if I'd be able to read that FCC ID to even know. I don't know that that's really readable. But anyways, Chris says, oh great, compatible with slow IBM VGA cards. Sylvestron says, oh, that's dodgy. Yeah, I both want to take this label off to make sure that's a RAM DAC, and don't want to take the label off because that's just, like, so low of putting an Oak Technology sticker on that. Oh, John says Oak Technology made the card. I have one that is very similar. Hopefully I'm remembering names. YouTube is still only showing handles. So welcome. But yeah, I guess this is an Oak Technology card. That would make sense with the serial number. Oak Video. That bomb says handles are here to stay, unfortunately. Well, apparently, YouTube thinks we wanted handles. I don't know why. All right. Hi, Jamie's Hack Shack. Welcome. Yeah, it does work in an 8-bit slot, apparently. Because, well, I mean, this is an XT computer. But we have a hard drive, and I am tempted to... I am very much tempted to take the screw out and see what it is. Jesse says, we need to make everything a bit worse. YouTube probably. Yeah, seriously. I'm sure they probably did it for, I don't know. They probably came up with some reason that they internally rationalized it. I don't know, like, for privacy or, I don't know, because Twitch does it. I don't know. Chris says, I got into an argument with someone over 16-bit cards working in 8-bit slots a week or so ago. Thomas says, what about 32-bit cards like EISA? No, an EISA card needs a 32-bit slot. Oh, that's going to be fun to remove the... Oh, we are not going to be able to remove this hard drive to see what it is, because I just realized in order to get the screws out for the hard drive, we would have to remove the power supply so that we could tilt the whole drive cage up. So we'll just leave that. Sadmax says, I don't know, possibly something related to mobile users. Not sure. Maybe. I don't know. I wish YouTube would, I don't know. If I complain, it's not like they're going to listen to me. It makes it hard to have an interactive live stream and feel personable doing it. But anyways, all right. So we're just going to have to hope this is an XT and a XT class IDE hard drive. So I was kind of thinking of I'm not going to wait till the end of the stream to test this. I'm curious. It arrived yesterday. I've been waiting for, I don't know, 26, 27 hours since I got home from work yesterday to test it. Oh, the hard drive cable is even unplugged. Well, that's nice. I guess that'll make it easier to check for shorts. I'm just gonna, actually, let's do it this way. All right, so I'm going to unplug the power supply. All right, so... well, that looks good. That was common. Well, guess what, folks? We will not be testing this tonight because that is a dead short. Means we are going to have to find the tantalum capacitor that shorted. How fun! Anyways, anyways, let's, well, yes, I know there's 4 tantalum capacitors by the power supply, but in order for me to figure out which one's bad, I'm going to have to pull the entire motherboard out. And I have a whole bag of stuff that needs to be opened first. But yeah, because there's 4 tantalums here, and then there are tantalums on the video card. And I think there's tantalums underneath the power supply on the motherboard too. So yeah, I got to pull the board out. I don't want to pull the board out now because I have a whole bag of stuff that needs to be opened. The good news is I probably have, well, it'll probably power up. It'll probably power up once I remove the tantalum that shorted. We have everything's broken garage. Hi, Ryan. Ryan heard there's regrets over here. Yeah, we have the first regret, potential regret, because there is a shorted tantalum on the board. So it is going to, in case I don't get to this now, Carter Hacker says, a bit late, but speaking of workbenches, my new 6.5 foot by 3 foot desk arrived the other day. Nice. All right, so short on motherboard. All right. Anyways, let's go through the bag I've got beside me here. These are in no particular order. So this next item comes to us from an eBay seller in New York State. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in New York. So I think I know which one this is. And we have Joe of Joe's Computer Museum. Hi, Joe. Welcome. So this item, if it's what I think it is not an item that I would have normally bought. But my longer-term viewers might remember that I've been trying to rebuild my first PC in its entirety. Had Stian's guessed it. Yes, this is a modem. Something that is completely useless. But it is like, I think this is the last of the items that I've not, that I had not identified what it was. Gutbomb says, do you even have a POTS landline anymore? No, but that actually doesn't matter. There's ways of simulating one. Yeah, we can simulate the POTS landline. And we have Lazy Bite Boy. Welcome. Hardware Hacker says, speaking of eBay regrets, I have a potential regret arriving on Tuesday. Anyways, this was I am like 99.94% sure of it. This was what my first modem was. There is a chance I had the one that had the voice features on it, but I can't tell that. Jesse says there's several ways to simulate dial tone. Some expensive, some easy. What you all don't know is I have a phone line simulator. I also know that there's several voice over IP boxes you can get, and hey, we have. Oh, thank you, RetroTech Chris. I don't want to go all by myself. Thank you, Chris. All right. That will go a good ways towards my goal. Jesse says, just ask my telco guy. He will tell you all about them for a whole day. Power Macintosh G3 is what hardware hacker's waiting for. Oh, optical drive doesn't read. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll be able to get it working. The tray doesn't want to eject or inject. All right, that's going to be the belts. Anyways, there we go. And here's the funny thing. So, Bill Lewis was cleaning out an estate and gave RetroTech Chris a whole bunch of CDs and floppies. It was probably earlier last year. I don't remember exactly when, but anyways, I was up at RetroTech Chris's house. It was probably, I bet it was when we went to the swap meet back in May of last year. Because it's been a while. Anyways, so Chris told me that I could have whatever I wanted from this box of CDs and floppies. They were all driver discs mainly. I think a few like bundled software discs. I've got them upstairs and they're in my to check and make sure they're archived pile. Anyways, the funny thing is, I grabbed some floppy disks that were the software that went with a modem. And when I found them, I thought the model number looked familiar. So fast forward to me doing one of my, all right, I'm going to see if I can find the modem on eBay. And I happen to see this modem. And sure enough, this is the part number that's on those floppy disks. So I have the drivers and the software that came with this card. It was bundled with like some voice telephony software and a terminal program, even though Windows had Hyperterm. It had a terminal program bundled with it. And I want to say it might have even had some like basic fax software. But anyways, I have the driver disks for this modem. And now I have the modem. And this, I'm pretty sure, was the modem that was in my first PC. And when I get back to that project, I will make sure I have the photos handy so that I can show you the blurry photo I have of the edge of this modem. And yeah, I'm looking at this now, and I'm pretty sure this was the modem. So there we go. So now I think I have found. Yeah, I'll throw a copy of those discs on the archive. Gutbomb's asking, hey, whatever happened to the Mad Dog PC project? I have a backlog of videos to work on, Gutbomb. It's not even funny at this point, and that is at the top of my list because I actually have two boxes behind me that I don't know if you can see. Oh, you can see one of them. And if I tilt this camera, there we go. All right. I've had these two boxes sitting here for a while. They're definitely past the eBay return period, but I really ought to open this box sometime because it's for the Mad Dog project. And maybe that'll spur me to want to work on it. This is something else. It's going to hold till April. But yeah, those are two eBay purchases that I just haven't bothered to open for various reasons. All right. All right, we can go back to... but anyways, So, for my first PC rebuild project, I think now... Oh, thank you, hardware hacker. Five little dollars for VCF East. Thunderclap. Thank you. All right. So, the components I have left for my first PC rebuild project, I need to find another keyboard because the first one I bought has broken keys. I may try to open it up and repair it, but it's one of those stupid membrane keyboards. It's probably not repairable because they're modern ones. Hi, Dave. Welcome. I would like to find the actual CD-ROM drive I had. The one that I have that's a close speed will have to be good enough until I find it. And probably what is the rarest thing to find for the rebuild, not that this modem was easy to find, I would like to find a Maxtor AP, or a Maxtor 1670 AP hard drive that actually works. I am beginning to believe that none of them work. So I'm going to have to settle for the one Jesse sent me that is it's a Western Digital Caviar of the same size. Gutpop says none of them work law. Yeah, seriously, that particular generation of Maxtor drives I think was garbage. The funny thing is, I actually bought one like 2 months ago. It never made it to the channel because for some reason I ended up opening it on I don't remember why I ended up opening and trying to use it before it made it to Wheel of Regrets. He is asking, what size does that correspond to? It's 1.67 gigabytes. Yeah, sure, hardware hacker, you can share that. But anyways, I got the Maxtor hard drive. I discovered that it actually appeared to have come out of a Packard Bell. I attempted to read the tattoo off the hard drive. I'm not sure that I successfully read it because I think it was an unsuccessful read. Then I attempted to format the hard drive and the drive... I attempted to repartition the drive, and I've never seen what happened before. So I went in F-disk. Stian says mine are going to be older than that. So I went into F-disk, I deleted and recreated a new partition on that drive. I rebooted because F-disk makes you go to MS-DOS, try to do a format C:, invalid drive specification. I go into F-disk and like the old partition table's there. So I tried again thinking I did something wrong. Again, reboot back into MS-DOS, format C:, invalid drive specification. Go into F-disk, the old partition table's still there. So basically, that Maxtor drive that I tried to read the tattoo off of to then reuse in my first PC rebuild project, apparently track 0, well, actually, I think the write head is bad on it. In fact, I'm kind of also thinking the read head might have been going too. But yeah. I think the right head was bad. So, needless to say, that one's not going to work. Alright, I will try to do better to not open things not on stream, but I don't remember why exactly that one got opened out of cycle. It might be... Oh... I bet it had to do something with it might have been, how it was packed or something. I don't know. Anyways, the next item we have comes to us from an eBay seller in Florida. In fact, I have a friend who lives in this part of Florida, but this is not from that person. So, hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Florida. And hi, Jeremy, if you would happen to be watching. Don't know if you watch my live streams, but yes, I recognized your city on this package. But this didn't come from my friend Jeremy. In fact, actually, my friend Jeremy that lives in this particular part of Florida, he moved there from somewhere else. I actually went to college with him, and I do remember playing on his Super Nintendo. He had a game, and the name of the game escapes me, but one of these days I'm going to try to find a copy of it, because it was a very interesting game. But, as Stan says, everyone moved here from somewhere else, including me. Yeah. It was like some airline business simulator game. It was rather interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Oh. The person that I got this item from apparently bought a 10-pack of tamper-resistant duplex receptacles from Amazon, so I hope they didn't need their receipt, because they accidentally sent their receipt to me. I'm not exactly sure I would buy receptacles from Amazon. I think I'd just probably go to the hardware store so that I knew they weren't fake. All right, Chris, we'll talk to you later. Anyways, we have... Stan says, I prefer receptacles that don't catch fire. Yeah, I prefer receptacles that come from the manufacturer. Yes, we have a Trident 686MX. Yeah, might as well be the Trident of processors. Aerobiz, thank you, Lazy Blue Goat. And welcome. Yes, Aerobiz or Aerobiz 2. Yeah, I think it was Aerobiz. That was it. That was the game. Yeah, that was the game. He had a Super Nintendo and Aerobiz. That was great. I was like, yeah, one of my early gaming experiences, because when I first went to college, I didn't have a game console of my own, but several of my friends did, and man, there were some fun games. But yeah, so I picked up this 6x86 MX PR233. Don't let the IBM logo fool you. This is a Cyrix processor through and through. Because right there, copyright Cyrix. IBM was one of their fabs, and their fab agreement did allow IBM to sell their own brand, allowed them to private brand the Cyrix processors. Jesse says, it's the live Tion receptacles. It's like Leviton, but more hot. Yeah. Anyways, I'd been looking to pick up a Cyrix processor for a while, and I think I picked this one up because I want to do a 233 megahertz processor comparison someday. So now all I got to do is pick the AMD K6 233, and then I can do the comparison of the 233s. Spoiler alert, I don't think this one actually runs at 233 megahertz. I believe it actually runs at like 200 megahertz. But yeah. Also, I'll have to, yeah. Anyways, there we go. All right, these are in no particular order. But if the box is going to like fall out of the bag, then I'll probably have to open it earlier. All right, like this one wants to fall out of the bag, so we'll open it up. So this one comes to us from an eBay seller in Ohio. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Ohio. This box is 9.5 by 6.5 by 5.5 inches, apparently. And it's kind of dense. Stian says, what should I search for on eBay? Trident cards. Then you can laugh at some of the listings. Hardware Hacker says, hopefully I got the correct 64 megabyte DIMM module for the card. Hopefully so. I don't know what one it uses. This one looks like a power supply. No, it is not a power supply. All right, clue number 1. Lazy Bite Boy says, get an Aquarius disk drive like I did last night. So here's clue number 1. It's a VGA cable. Stian's guessing KVM. Nope, it's not a KVM. Let me see if maybe I can remove this. Unfortunately, that clue is not very good, and that it probably gives it away very, very much. Also, I don't like the fact it's not in an anti-static bag very, very much. I had been waiting to get one of these at the right price. Ian says that's annoyingly common with eBay. I was kind of I was thinking someone might recognize it. Maybe if I turn it right side up, it might conjure a realization that this I think I actually purchased on Monday. Dual head video card. No. Hard Hacker says if you're looking for laughable eBay pricing, but I don't recognize the manufacturer. All right, I got to look at this because I do have to. I was going to figure out what I paid for this card. Oh, it's an Orange Micro Orange PC. Excellent. All right. All right. I am going to have to share this one. So, anyways. All right. So, Hardware Hacker just shared this eBay auction of an Orange Micro Orange PC 530 with 16 megabytes of memory. Yours for the low price of $13,000. Thankfully, it has free priority mail shipping. And oh, it's located in Blacksburg, Virginia. That's just wonderful. So, I would make a quip about the university that's located in Blacksburg, but that would probably be a hokey of a joke if I did. You see what I did there? Guppup says, I advise you to buy it, Justin. Stan says, it's got the 50,000 cable with it. Joe says, buy 100 of them or something. Dave says, rare. Socket Rich says, I could get my bathroom fixed for that. Yeah. I think I could build a bathroom in my basement for $13,000. Yeah, but Stan, you are right. This is a 3D accelerator card. It is a 3DFX Voodoo 2 with 12 megabytes of memory on it. Or I think it's the 12. Because it's got the memory on the back. Yeah, that's a nice Voodoo 2 card. And the seller says tested working. So we will put that to the test. You better believe I'm going to dig up a computer that we can stick this in and make sure it detects. So this one is from STB Systems. And they had a buy it now price of $150 on it plus shipping. Which seemed like a fairly good deal for these cards. They seemingly go for somewhere between $150 and $200. In fact, they had another card that was by Creative Labs, and I think they wanted like $170 or $180 for it. So I was like, no, I don't need the Creative Labs version of the same card. I'll go with STB Systems. It'll be fine. It's the same card. Yeah, Stian says, and then the Voodoo 3 2000 came out. Yeah. Dave says the Voodoo is on you, Justin. Yeah. Anyways, reason I got this is because I've got some computers with onboard 2D graphics that I kind of would like to maybe put 3D in it. So this will probably float around between different systems. So don't be surprised if it shows up from time to time. and possibly even shows up in an industrial computer from time to time. So, also, this is a laughably long loopback cable, so there may or may not be something in this bag later to fix the laughably long cable, but hey, at least it had the cable, because that'll set you back another, like, $20. Stian says, I found a treasure in my Macs today, by the way. Cool. Yeah, it does look fairly clean. Alright, so this next item comes to us from an eBay seller in Arizona. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Arizona. I'd been looking for something like this for a while. I promise you this is not a power supply. Or at least it shouldn't be a power supply. It is making rattling noises, so I'm hoping it's not a rattlesnake. But it's not making that kind of rattle noises. Harder Hacker says it's a VIC-20. Yeah. Well, that, actually, interestingly enough, this, is somewhat of a clue. Trident 6-pack. No, I had been looking for a box to put all my dead IC chips in that I pull out of various computers that I've worked on the channel, because my dead IC bag is getting full. So I found this Computermate floppy disk box show up on eBay, and I realized that it's perfect. Because it's a box. It's actually a rather big box. Oh, I've got floppy disk boxes. That's why I'm going to use it for dead chips. Don't worry, though. I will hold on to the floppy disk organizers. I'm not going to get rid of them. But I will hold on to them in case I need a bigger box, and then I'll use it for floppy disks. But anyways, yeah, I finally decided that this would be my dead chip box. Yeah, very 1980s vibe in it. So yes. Because it's wood, or as LGR would probably say, it's got that wood grain. Well, it's actually a wood box, so that's not wood grain. Well, it actually... Okay, I think that actually is... I was about to say I don't think that's veneer, but actually the more I look at it, I think that is veneer. But I think this is actually wood veneer and not like vinyl wood grain. Dave says it's a humidor for the chips. Yeah. See, it says big bada box. Yep. It's a Computermate. And actually, well, actually, somewhere I've got a Squawker sticker. MDF with veneer. Yeah, it's... Anyways, it's my dead chip box. And if I ever need it for floppy disks, well, I can find another box. Stian says, the Bruce might be saying, hey, that's a computer, mate. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, at least for now, this will be my dead chip box until I find something better. I will keep the organizers for it, so I could use it for floppy disks. But anyways, yeah, I finally found a box for my dead SEs. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, sometimes I do buy practical things on eBay. Let's see here. The next item comes to us from an eBay seller in Massachusetts. I had to take a double take because the from on this box is the name of a YouTube channel. But I thought that YouTuber was in Florida, so I suspect it is a totally unrelated seller. Because the name on the box says Mike Tech, and there is an eBay channel named Mike Tech, but I sure thought he was in Florida. Oh. And given what this is, I don't think it's from him. Harder Hacker says, hi, from a viewer in Massachusetts. Oh, okay, that's where you are. Oh, cool. All right. So, I'm blaming 1-bit fever dreams for this one. He shared it on the Macintosh Friends Discord. Oh, yeah, and Gutbomb says, hi from a viewer in Massachusetts. Yes. I would sing the refrain from the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, but Gutbomb would be like, yes, I live in Boston. Of course I've been to Boston in the fall. I don't have invitation privileges for that Discord, Stian. Anyways, I have Shadowgate for the Macintosh 512K. And there's a funny story about this. So, 1-bit shared this auction, and I made the seller an offer for like $45 for it. And they never respond because they listed it auction style, or best offer. So I offered them $45 because I noticed they were going for about 50 to 55. So I offered them 45. And I think it expired when someone placed a bid, but it actually was, or maybe they ignored it. I don't know which. Anyways, so it got to the end of the auction and I placed a bid. And I think I ended up winning it for under $30. So I think I had $15 more had they considered my offer. Plus shipping. Lazy Bite Boy says, lol, Gutbomb gave away his location just from the wood moldings you can see in his videos. Well, I mean, you also watch some of his videos and what is play on the WGBH Boston logo? Anyways, so yes, we have this game on 2 floppy disks for the Macintosh 512K. So it'll run on the 512K, and it has the manual. I think this is one of those like adventure games that you like point and click at things. So there we go. Nice manual. Nice slip cover. I think there might have been a window on the disc holder at some point, but it looks like that's missing. Gutbomb says, you know those 3 windows every New England house has in the living room? I've got those too. Gutbomb says, Shadowgate is an excellent game. Yes. So anyways, we will have to check this out. Probably in Marcintosh. But anyways, there we go. Works with the Mac 2 and Mac SE, includes animation and digitized sound. Contains 2 discs of adventure excitement. So there we go. Yeah, with the window squares, Harder Hacker says yes. All right, let's see here. I think we got a few more items here. that are small enough that I'll set the bag on. I wasn't kidding when I said I put them in a garbage bag so that I could then take the trash out. So this next item comes to us from an eBay seller in California. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in California. No gut bomb, this is not from Memory Masters. But I may or may not have Memory Masters item in my eBay cart right now. I don't remember what this is. Oh! It's an AMD K6-2300. And I don't remember exactly why I fell for this. It's one of the 66 megahertz frontside bus ones. But anyways, I think I have a motherboard that I thought this would go nicely in. But anyways, so there we go. K6-2300. Sylvestron says, with only the finest anti-static sticky tape. Yes. All right. The next item comes to us from an eBay seller in Illinois. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Illinois. Gutbomb says, hi from a viewer that used to live in California. Oh. And they packaged this in the packing slip. So there we go. I didn't even bother to read what that said. So, oh, you are never going to guess what this is. Even though it's processor shaped. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let me carefully open this, because... Oh, thank you to SJ. All right. More towards my VCF East trip. I'm almost halfway there. Cool. That'll be really good, because I've already... already paid for the hotel room, because it was one of those pay when you book. So we have an AMD Athlon XP processor. This one is I think this one is a 1300. No, this one's going to be a gigahertz, because it's the Athlon. This is for that motherboard that I opened last week that had bulging capacitors on it. The bit motherboard that had the slot bracket code reader. So that's what this one was for. This was one of the two options for that board. Socket Wrench says, at this point, the only way I'll go to VCF is if it comes to Minnesota. Yeah. Hackable with a 2B pencil, yes. Actually, I think I've got a Duron 700 somewhere. Anyways, yeah, that was a Athlon gigahertz, because... All right, I have a 50-50 chance of finding the other box. So this comes to an eBay seller from Colorado. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers from Colorado. And hi, Gutbomb. I know you're a viewer that I believe you did used to live in Colorado, if I remember correctly. Or at least I think you've got a Colorado tattoo on your arm, if I'm remembering my 50 states of the union correctly. Gutbomb's probably like, beat me to it. Yes, there we go. There's the AMD Duron 1300. Gutbomb says, grew up there. Yep. So these are the two options for that motherboard. You're probably wondering why in the world that a Duron would be one of the two options. And I will just tell you that all you got to do is look at what the code name of this processor is, and you would realize why a Duron is a candidate. Because this one's a Morgan core. Yes, part of the Thoroughbred series. This one because it's the fastest 100 megahertz Athlon XP. Because I think the next fastest Athlons are 133 megahertz front side bus, or I guess it'd be 266 megahertz front side bus, and that a bit motherboard only does the 200. So, oh, SJ says I've only ever been to VCF East. I am an hour from it. Yeah, Hardware Hacker says a Justin D. Morgan core. Yes. You know, SJ, were you there last year? Because I was actually exhibiting last year. I saw a lot of people, though. It's possible that, I'm hoping I'll get to see more people as a drifter. Oh, okay, in 2025, but not for long. Okay. Yeah, I think I kind of... It wasn't, if anyone's wondering, it wasn't the theme of the show. That it's just the fact that I just am not going to have time to prepare to exhibit this year. Because, I forgot to do my usual, I opened this without saying hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Washington State. In fact, I'd like to thank Dylan Electronics for answering my silly question about this item, because they had two different auctions listed with the similar items, and I asked what the difference was. And this was the more premium feeling of the cables. So I thought it might last better, longer, something. This is an actual Voodoo video card loopback cable, so that I don't have like 3 feet of cable. Yeah, it's just a cable. I wanted the proper loopback cable for a Voodoo card. So anyways, yeah, that's all this is. It's a loopback cable. All right. Yeah, I think that concludes. Oh, you know, what time is? Oh, it's 10:43. Oh. All right, so let's see here. If we are going to, so, oh, hi, Mr. Tech Gadget, welcome. Yeah, I think, oh, well, actually, I am tempted to, dig an item out that I've been waiting to open. Ah, yeah, SJ says, yep. All right, we will, okay, so this one is probably going to get its own live stream, because to take it apart and, because if I'm going to take it apart to find and remove the shorted tantalum and possibly replace it, I'm also going to need to fix the clock chip, because these don't boot properly without a working clock chip. Basically, without a working clock chip, it's just going to boot into the DOS and ROM. Kind of annoying. So really, I think this is going to get its own stream to get it working. So I think I am going to grab that other box, and then I will find a PCI-based motherboard. And yeah, we'll start testing some stuff. In fact, actually, I might grab the All right. Actually, this can stay on the bench for a moment. All right, let me go extract the box. It is underneath another box. And of course, I set stuff on the other box. All right. Yeah, why not? We'll open two more things. All right, so this item comes to us from an eBay seller in Texas. So, hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Texas. I was going to wait till April to open this, but I kind of would like to get the box out of the way. Oh, okay. Gutbum says I should go upstairs and grab the box he sent me. Okay. We'll do that after I get through Wheel of Regrets. All right. So, what is in this box? And I don't remember exactly when I bought it. This is one of those. Oh, it's dirtier than I remember it being. All right, well. All right. We have now I could sit down in my chair if there wasn't part of this, if I didn't have the box in it. We have a laser 128 case that is in really, really rough shape. But importantly, it looks like the case... Ah, there we go. Has all of the keyboard standoffs. If I can clean it up. Because I have a laser 128, and half the keyboard standoffs are broken on the case, so now at least I know what they look like. Might be possible to have something 3D modeled to fix the case I have, but worst case, I have another case that needs some serious help. So, yeah. There we go. Oh for 1 of a 3D scanner. Yeah, exactly. Alright, and the last thing we're going to open before I go up and grab the box that Gutbum sent me. Because it's not a Wheel of Regrets entry. I loaned Gutbum something. Alright, so this last item comes to us from an eBay seller in Michigan. Oh, this comes from Lake Michigan Computers. I've bought from them before. So, hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Michigan, and hi to Lake Michigan Computers. Oh, something tells me this is going to have packing peanuts in it. Oh, no, maybe not. Oh, there's the packing slip. Steven says, it's big, whatever it is. Lazy Bite Boy says, you should put an Apple II board in there. It would be way funnier. Yeah, that would be funnier. Alright, I apologize in advance for how new this item is. But it is for one of those projects for the laughs or ratings or whatnot. I'm glad I have two optical drives to put in this, because it is missing a couple of the front panel covers. As you all might be able to tell, I think I am zoomed out as far as I can. It is a computer case. In fact, it is a rather large computer case. But, oh. So it's one of those, I had to ask myself, if Mad Dog Computer Products made a computer case, what might it look like? Because they didn't sell computer cases. And, yeah. Oh, this is an Antec design case. Well, that actually might be just about as appropriate, because I don't think they actually made anything that they sold. So, yeah, they might have, if they'd ever made a case, they might have commissioned Antec to make it for them. Yeah, so I have this. It's an ATX case, which I can't show entirely on camera because I can't zoom out far enough. It's got this lovely side window with this cutout for a fan, which, unfortunately, Mad Dog didn't make a fan that big, so I will have to improvise. Or, well, you know, I don't have to put a fan there. But look at this case that you can't see all of. It is like ginormous. It has drive bays down the entire front of it. So not only does it have 3 5¼ inch optical drive bays, missing 2 of the front covers, But it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3.5-inch drive bays. Although they're all interior, so it is going to, well, might cause a problem trying to put my Mad Dog floppy drives in the case, but, well, I'll figure out a way. Well, I wasn't going for the biggest case. It has a giant fan on the top of the case, so cooling is not going to be an issue for the AMD Athlon XP. What was the fastest one they made in the Athlon XP series? Was it like a 4,000 plus? Or 3,800? Yeah, I think the Mad Dog cooler that I have for this project supports, like, I don't remember if it supports the fastest one or like one down from it. But anyways, I have the fastest supported AMD Athlon processor for the Mad Dog. Gupum says my dad was using Athlon XP till 2017. Haha. Well, you could run Windows 10 on them, couldn't you? Or was that Windows 7? I don't remember where they capped out. But anyways, yeah. It's an Antec case with side windows. This thing is like Mad Dog has Mad Dog build potential. Other than well, I might have made a mistake because I don't think I can put the Mad Dog fans in here. Yeah, Gupum says, yep, Windows 10. Oh, Jesse says you can run Windows 10 on a Pentium D. Okay. So anyways, yeah, it's a computer case that I was going to use for my Mad Dog build. And it does kind of look like I might have made a few mistakes in buying it and that there's no 80 millimeter fan locations, but, well, I did my best. Sylvester says, of course it will. That's a stupid question. Yeah. Oh, but will it run Doom? Yeah. Socket Wrench says you can make anything fit with enough dremeling. Well, the problem isn't that the fan locations are too small. The problem is that the fan locations are too big. Oh well. Anyways, I guess this will be for the Mad Dog build. Well, it's the case I bought. I'm not buying another case for the build. Hopefully I'll get to working on the video sometime this year. Yeah, I guess I'll have to 3D print something to put the smaller fans in the bigger place. Yeah, it's a nice case. Gupum says a true Mad Dog will make 80 millimeter fan locations. Oh, but you know what might be the pièce de résistance? Look at this big, huge fan on the top. Oh, and it even has firewire. Although, Mad Dog didn't sell firewire cards, but whatever. I have a firewire card. Oh, and yeah, I mean, it is a fairly nice case. I don't know which Antec case this is, but Gupum says, which store had Mad Dog as their in-house brand? I can't remember. CompUSA had them. Socket Wrench says, for some reason I miss my Antec area case now. Yeah, it's only Firewire 400. Yeah, I mean, it's a decent case. Got a perforated front panel front. Oh, and a side window. So my Soyo Dragon. Yeah, I've got a for the Mad Dog build. I have a Soyo Dragon motherboard. That was tough finding one that didn't cost an arm and a leg. I'll put it that way. I hope it works. All right, let me go upstairs. Oh, I guess maybe I should spare you all the suffering of me going upstairs. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab the box Gut Bomb sent me. So we are done with Wheel of Regrets now. So I will put you all on hold here for a moment. So now that we are out of Wheel of Regrets, this item, well, is mine. I loaned it to Gut Bomb, and he has now returned it. So yes, you can see my Computerized Start Loaner Program box that I hastily made from supplies I found in the basement, and a marker. Yeah, a custom box. All right, and what do we have inside? Because Gut Bomb put something in here for me to say thank you for letting him borrow my Oreo. So this is the card I loaned Gut Bomb. A Vortex 2 sound card. Because he was trying to decide which sound card he wanted between two, and one of them was one of these Vortex 2 cards. So I said, well, would you like to borrow one so you can make sure it's what you want before you go through the trouble of trying to find one on eBay? And so that's why I loaned him the card. It may or may not show up in a video at some point in the future. But anyways, yep, that is the card I loaned him. And we have a surprise here in the box. So let's see what Gut Bomb put in here for me. Oh, there we go. Gut Bomb settled on the Odyssey 2. So, as a small token of appreciation, Gut Bomb has sent along a Motorola 68882 math coprocessors. Thank you, Gut Bomb. I will be able to put this to good use. So, thank you for helping me with my math. Yeah, nice FPU. All right. So, yep. I have been known to loan things out from time to time, so glad I was able to help Gut Bomb with an important question. The Vortex 2 or an Odyssey 2? Gut Bomb says I used the biggest anti-static bag I had because it was funny. Yeah. All right, so let's see here. We have let's see here. All right, so let me see what I have that, as much as I want to test the Voodoo 2 card, I don't have drivers handy for that, so I'm almost tempted to... All right. Let's see here. Do I have... Hardware Hacker says, now you can add 0001 and 0001 to arrive at 0010. Yes. All right. So, all right, I'm trying to decide what makes the most sense to test first. So I've got a couple processors. Those are fairly easy to test. Just basically, if they work, they work. I've got some AGP cards that I think we opened last time. That, although one of which is, I believe this one is an AGP 8X card. All right, so we can't test that in a Super 7 board. But we could test that in a socket 462 board. All right. I think I do have a socket 462 32 board that I could pull over here that hasn't been tested. Let me see. I'm trying to decide what order to test things in. I guess if I brought a Super 7 board over here, I could test the Socket 7 processors that I've got sitting beside me, which I have 2 of. Although, honestly, I think there might be a third one hiding right over here as well. And we could test the Voodoo card in that, although I don't have drivers handy. Let's see here. If I grab a... Yeah, Super Socket 7 rules. And I have... It's just... to test the Voodoo card, I'd need to install... either... Well, actually... No, we don't need to install Windows drivers. I could find it. I could run a DOS game that supports the card. That would also work. All right. All right. Let me. Hold please while I go look up which games support the. All right. See, Descent 2 does. Actually, I'm not sure where. All right. Although 45 minutes wouldn't give us much to. All right. Let me see here. All right. think to test the Voodoo card, I'm going to need to put that card in a computer that I already have Windows installed on. Otherwise, it'll take too long to install Windows. This about, or I got to install a game. Okay, I think we may have to skip that tonight because we've got not much time. So let's instead focus on some things that I think we can practically test. Doom does not support the Voodoo card. Lazy Bite Boy's asking, what about the 486 running Windows 98? No PCI slots, fortunately. Oh yeah, next week we will. I think it's next week. We're going to try Windows 98 Second Edition on that poor 486 board again. And I'm not going to try to go from Windows 98 to Windows 98 Second Edition. The next attempt, I'm going to fresh install Windows 98 Second Edition. If it'll even work. There's a chance that won't work. I really want to see if that processor gets misdetected by Windows 98 Second Edition. But yeah, that's one of the crazy things we're going to try next week with a fresh install of Windows, because I don't think the update's going to run on that motherboard. I think we're going to have to fresh install it. Because I think the Windows 98 fresh install copies the files in DOS mode. So, Thomas is asking Windows NT 4. I don't have the... I don't want to set up NT 4. That won't help us test the Voodoo card either. Voodoo card... All the programs that use the Voodoo card are either going to be DOS or Windows 95 or Windows 98. The only computer I'm looking to make sure this isn't a false statement. I think the only computer I have right now that actually has Windows 98 set up on it and running is my Pentium 2 system. And I don't know where I put it. But it has Windows 98 installed and running on it. Thomas says I need a Trident EISA card. I've not seen one. Granted, I don't look for EISA cards because I only have one EISA system. And you all... Oh, yeah, I guess you all didn't know that. But now you do. I do actually have an EISA system. It's just... hasn't made it to the bench yet. Alright. So yeah. Let's test things I can test. Alright. Since I'm not sure where my Pentium 2 system's gone to... Embarrassingly. It's like I should know where it is. But I don't know where it is. That's the embarrassing thing. How about let's test some of the processors I got. So I'm going to go grab a Super 7 motherboard. Oh, I guess we could at least make sure the Voodoo card shows up in the list of devices that happens at post. Okay, we can do that. That won't require installing drivers. Okay. And we can do that on a Super 7 board. Excellent. All right, let me go grab a Super 7 board. And if I have one near it, I will also grab a socket 462 board. And we'll test these processors that I opened today, and we'll We'll make sure the voodoo card's detected. And I want to say I've got an AGP card over here. Well, no, I've got this Radeon 9600, but it's AGP 8, so we'll have to put that in the socket 462 board. All right, let me go grab a motherboard. And I will be back. All right. I have returned with a Super 7 board and a socket A board. So, our test contenders are as follows. We have an MSI MS6330 version 2.1 board. I believe it is a VIA chipset or via, however you're supposed to say it. I think it might have been pulled out of a gateway. I'm not exactly sure. Got a warranty void sticker from the seller. It does not have much in terms of onboard anything. And I'm not even sure if it works, but I think it's going to be AGP compatible with that Radeon card. It also should support the two socket 462 processors I opened today. And then for this board, which I'm going to have to look up because I think we have to change jumpers for this board. It's not one of the ones that you set the processor in the BIOS. This is an Asus P5A board with the ALI chipset. I think I prefer the VIA chipset for Super 7, but hey, I think this came from Bill Lewis, so I was glad to have it. Right now it has a K62 533 installed on it. I'm fairly sure this board works, but we will go ahead and before we attempt to install anything crazy on it, let's go ahead and put the heatsink on the processor. I mean, I could probably do a quick power-up test with the K62 without causing any damage, but let's not risk it. Let me see if I can find the... There we go. ATX power connector. Oh. Would help if I had the connector on the right way. All right. There we go. I think that'll... All right, so a couple of the pins will be hanging off, but we're fine. We're not. Yep. All right, we are fine. I guess we'll plug the fan in so I don't break the internet. I don't need someone to retell Goldilocks and Three Bears in the comments section. I'll put the fan on. This processor's too hot. This processor's too cold. This processor's just right. Well, at least the Three Bears weren't applying thermal paste them. All right. Let's see here. Let's turn on the smart outlet. And there we go. And now we should be able to turn the power on there. And now I should be able to turn this motherboard on like here. There we go. And hopefully it posts. Oh, well, that's a negative. All right, hold please. Let's see here. What? Oh, I was going to grab the postcard. So the funny thing is, I have a postcard that I've misplaced, and I ordered another postcard from Amazon, and then I had somehow managed to misplace it too. But then I found it the other day, so there's my postcard here. So let's make sure. Oh, well, we're getting postcodes. We are at 4E. Alright, so this is a Word BIOS. Cool thing is they usually have a book that comes with them with all the postcodes. So 4E on a Word BIOS. Oh, it should be displaying something on the screen. Yeah. Yeah, not a useful postcode. Alright. Well, that's cool. I power side. Oh, there we go. It just needed me to turn it off and back on again. That's weird. Oh, I bet the coin cell battery's dead. Let me. Oh, I don't know that I have a coin cell battery to put in it. Also, I think the processor might be slightly misconfigured. Yeah, floppy disks fail. There are no floppy disks connected. Imagine that. I don't even have a keyboard connected. Although that's easier to fix. uh, Jack's asking, what's 40? Wait, are there 39 previous floppy disk problems? I think 40 is the um I think 40 is the postcode for floppy disk fail. Oh, well, oh, that's neat. So it is. Oh, wow. This motherboard is an hour and 9 minutes ahead, which makes sense because I think last time I looked at this, it would have been daylight savings time. So I have a feeling the battery is totally fine. All right, we will turn that off. Halt on all errors. BIOS features. Yeah, that's all fine. I'll have to plug in a Yeah, so actually, I think the board only lost like 9 minutes over 8 months, maybe? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I think I may be overclocking this processor slightly. Oh, I think I do remember overclocking it. We kind of figured that it would probably work at a 100 megahertz frontside bus. There we go. All right, so this works with the processor that's in it, and that means we can Like a wrench asked, did you check the bottom of the case? The missing minutes may be rattling around down there. I didn't have this motherboard in a case. All right, so let's put this Voodoo card in this motherboard. SJ says, my PowerPC Performa has a 3 AA holder replacing its original Rayovac Cube battery, and its clock is actually too fast. Yeah, that's actually kind of weird, because usually my experience is PC clocks run slow, not fast. But I guess, well, product variance, that makes sense. And there we go. I don't know which of those two is our... Oh, yeah, I think the Voodoo card is the first one on the list. Yeah, vendor ID 121A, device ID 0002, showing up as a multimedia device, because our video card is the, on bus number 1. It's got IRQ11. So, yeah. The last one is going to be our AGP card, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so much RAM. I have, 64 megabytes of RAM on this board. In fact, I think the video card I have in this computer has more RAM than or has just as much RAM on the video card as the motherboard does. All right, so the Voodoo card is seen. That's good. All right. I'm not as worried about it. It did arrive as the seller described, and we'll take a further look at that later. All right, so let me go pull up the manual for this board, because I need to change jumpers. All right. All right. Oh, well, there's some notes on the retro web for this motherboard. It says, due to a hardware problem, P5A revision 1.05 and 1.06 will work extremely slow with the K6 Plus CPU. This has been noticed with revision E and G of the chipset. So, oh, this is a 1.06 version of the motherboard. And I believe it is a revision E of the NG of the chipset. All right. Well, I guess it's just as well I don't have a K6 Plus processor to put in here. Let's see, 3.3 volts plus, not routed to the PCI slots. What was Asus even thinking? That's a miss. All right. And on 1.06, boards that have the HIP6004B, is in Baker. Core voltage regulator can only go down to 2.1 volt core voltage, making the 2.0 setting output 0 instead. Well, which version do I have on this board? That is probably a good question. No, let's see. Although I don't think any of the processors I need to test now need to go down to that low of a voltage, but let's double check in case I think that's the I think this is the HIP 6004B. All right. Okay. That is very important to know. So if any of these processors need 2 volts, then I'll have to go grab another board, or well, we'll test them later. All right. We are not going to get very far with this testing at this rate, but that's fine. All right. Let's see here. I think page 21 is for the processors. All right, here we go. Okay. So let me disconnect the video cable so I can turn the board. So for this board, there is let's see here. So we should have a set of 4 jumpers, which I believe are going to be right here by the RAM. That set the frontside bus settings. And they are currently set for, should currently be set for 100 megahertz. Wait. Oh, those are not the, oh, those are not the jumpers. Okay. Oh, those are the voltage jumpers. Never mind. I mislooked at the diagram. These are the jumpers we need to change. And they are set for 100 megahertz right now. And I need to, all right, change them to 66 megahertz. I need to move the middle 2 jumpers down. And then the board will be set for 66 megahertz bus. 66 megahertz CPU bus, 66 megahertz AGP bus, and 33 megahertz PCI bus. So that is all that everything will be within spec. And both processors I opened today, they're both 66 megahertz frontside bus, so yeah, we'll be able to test both of them. You can indicate in the chat if you want me to try the Cyrix processor or the AMD processor first, and I will take suggestions. There's one of the jumpers. All right, there we go. So the front side bus. Oh, you couldn't see what I was doing because there's the jumpers there. All right, so the front side bus is set for 66 megahertz. The CPU external clock, I will check the chat here to see if anyone has. Vote AMD. All right, we will do AMD. All right. So this AMD processor is a. All right, so for the K62. I think I need a 5. I think I need a multiplier of 5. 300 divided by 66 is. Oh, that is 4.5. All right, that's easy enough. So 4.5 is actually these 3 jumpers all. Actually, the AMD is the easier of the two to test, actually, too. So, all right, we'll go with AMD. In fact, whoops, I have a feeling the AMD processor might even use the same voltage as the one that's in it right now, which will make it easy. All right. Well, if I can get the jumper out. Oh, that's wild. The metal jumper part of that jumper stayed behind. So, all right, there we go. And luckily, I got another jumper here. There we go. All right. Now, let me remove the heatsink and the AMD processor that's in this board. Somehow, carefully. Oh, I'm going to have to remove the DIMM, I think. So that I can get my. There we go. Oh. Let's see here. The processor that's in here. Oh, actually, if anyone. Oh, never mind. I was about to say something wrong. Never mind. It was based on me initially looking at the wrong jumper block for the. This is a 2.2 volt core processor that's in there. And the. Oh, good. The AMD processor that we have to test also is a 2.2 volt core processor. So we're good. And no bent pins because it went right in. I like it when a plan comes to fruition. Well, there we go. Put a heatsink on it so we don't break the internet. We'll put some RAM in it so that we actually have a chance of posting. And yeah, pretty much the. This is pretty much the. If the board posts, then the processor's probably good. We'll put a postcard in here so I can monitor things. All right. So this is the AMD K62 300, the one that was designed for a 66 megahertz frontside bus. And there we go. We got power on, and we've got power switch. And there we go. Looks like we are posting. All right. So now let me see here for the IBM processor. It is a 2.9 volt core, and I believe it is a 3 multiplier. All right, let me double check that. Yep, it's a K62-300. All right, so this one is a 6x86MX 233. Because it's a PR233, which means performance rating, which means that it doesn't run at that clock speed. Yes, it is a 3x multiplier. All right. So anyways, our K62-300 works. Or, I mean, it posts, so... All right, so let's remove... All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to disconnect the video cable. All right, let me remove the DIMM. All right. So I can remove the AMD processor. Anyway, all right. Because the AMD processor is a 2.2 volt core. The the 6x86 MX PR233 is a 2.9 volt core. So I definitely do not want to power the AMD processor with that much voltage, because that would not be a good day. However, if I powered this IBM processor up with 2.2 volts, well, I mean, it's realistically probably just not going to post. So, yeah, we don't want to let the magic smoke out. All right. So, this is multiplier and this is voltage. So for the Cyrix, need to follow the CPU D. Ah, interesting. So for the CPU D, there we go. There's only 2 multiplier jumpers for the Cyrix processor, and this is a 3 multiplier for the Cyrix. For other processors, this is a 1.5 and 3.5, but for Cyrix, that's actually its 3x multiplier. I guess Cyrix redefined them for some reason. All right, and I do need to... Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I misread the chart. Good thing I checked that. Actually, That was for the original 6x86. Apparently, the 6x86MX uses a more standard multiplier jumper setting. I guess for the early ones, Cyrix implemented something different. For the later ones, it matches the Intel MMX ones. All right. That is 3.0 for this one. All right. So now that I've fixed that, now I need to find the voltage setting for... All right. So that is going to be a VID jumpers 23121223. I can get the jumper out. Oh, hold on. Let me fix this. This pin is bent. There we go. Now it's not. Now I think I can slide this. So there we go. 2 3 1 2 1 2 2 3. There we go. All right. That should be set correctly for the IBM processor. After all, these IBM 6x86 MX processors were the hottest thing around when they were released. I'll get back to the chat here in a moment. I mean, they were quite literally the hottest thing around. Besides the sun. Yeah, the smoke can be pretty, yes. All right. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Oh, interesting. Oh, the CPU fan is not spinning. All right, let's good catch. Why is it not spinning? There we go. It's spinning now. I don't think I had it plugged in all the way. The processor speed's not showing up, right? Oh, some motherboards ran the memory test 3 times. It's probably set to full memory test and not quick memory test. That's probably it. I bet with that, I bet it won't do it now because it's set to quick test. Nope. Nope, looky there, and how it doesn't cycle at all. No SCSI on here. Yeah, it says 266. I don't know why it says 266. Let me double check the... One, two, two, three. 232323 12. The bus 1223 for the multiplier. I am going to presume that is a. It should say 233. I am going to presume it is a bug in the BIOS because it is. Yeah. The multiplier jumper block that I'm using can't go to 266. So Jack says BIOS isn't allowed to have bugs. Yeah. And my T-Rex isn't allowed to have popcorn, and yet I have to floss his teeth occasionally. Because, T-Rex arms can't floss his own teeth. Anyways, all right, so there we go. It is that time again where I have to say adieu, parting is such sweet sorrow, because I do have to go to work tomorrow. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I'm going to go live next. Just moving some things to where they won't potentially fall over before I can take care of them at a later date. Because I'm not going to put them away tonight. Let's see here. So, upcoming streams, I'm going to actually go look at my YouTube studio so I remember what order I have scheduled the streams in. Let's see here. Your videos. Live streams. So, let's see here. Next Tuesday, assuming I can find the capacitors, we are going to recap some IBM floppy drives so that I can put working floppy drives in my 5150. And then next Thursday, we are going to again look at the UMC 486, and we'll try to install Windows 98 2nd Edition by clean installing it. So that is what is currently scheduled for next week. Obviously, if I can't find the caps for Tuesday, then I'll probably flip-flop next week's streams. And then the following week, on the 19th, is a Monday. And the reason why I'm going to stream next Monday, or the following Monday instead of Tuesday, is because I have the day off for Martin Luther King Day. So, not next Monday, but the following Monday, we will start at 4 o'clock, and we are going to put the Gateway Profile 3 back together. I know that is going to take longer than a 4-hour stream, so that week I'm going to stream Monday and Thursday so that I can take advantage of my day off and start at 4 p.m., and we can put that computer back together. So that's the streaming schedule for the next 3 streams. So yeah, I hope to see you all here next time. Thanks again for the super chats, or I guess the coffee tips, and the it's been a while since we've seen the Gateway. So, and then I think after those 3 streams that are PC related, I think I've got some Macs I want to work on, but those are like some things I would like to finish up. Didn't get to the floppy drives during December. Oh, thank you, Hardware Hacker, for the super sticker. Yeep. So yeah, I wanted to get to those floppy drives, but didn't during December. I need to get the Profile 3 back together, and I need to take advantage of a day where I have time to do it. And and that 486, I'm curious, you're curious, we're all curious. We want to torture that processor. So, yep, and then I think we'll get to some Mac stuff or other computer type stuff. But those are like the few things I want to tie up before I switch gears. So with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out in the chat, being cool, enjoying some of my potential regrets, and I'll give you an idea of things we might be looking at in the future. So with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.